Neri here with the champ, Jessica Mccaskill. How's everything, champ?
Man, everything is good. It's a little crazy right now. We're here in New York for the weigh-ins. Teofimo Kambosos. I will be commentating this fight tomorrow.
Beautiful.
On the zone, and then we go back to Chicago for less than 24 hours, and then we go out to fight week for my fight, December 4th in Las Vegas against Victoria Bustos. All the belts are on the line, so it's kind of non-stop. You know, you just have to kind of stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Yeah, let's first talk about this fight. Exciting weigh-ins. We expect fireworks between Lopez and Kambosos. What do you expect coming into this fight with Lopez and Kambosos?
I just want to see who's really going to bring the smoke. I mean, you know, sometimes there's a lot of talk, and then, you know, you have to see if the training backs it up. You have to see if the willpower in the ring, you know, backs it up. Sometimes people get under the lights and they don't perform the same way, and sometimes they get under the lights and they perform even better. So I'm just excited to see what happens. Always excited to see the undercard, see the people that are coming up. The young guy, Raymond, he's on this card, Raymond Ford. We'll see what he does. I saw a fight of his. I think we were on the same card for maybe Dallas, I think it was. But I just want to see what everybody brings to the table.
Does it hurt a champion or does it benefit a champion knowing the inactivity? More than a year, Teofimo Lopez was supposed to fight this fight. Drew got postponed multiple times. What is your take on that?
I think the inactivity really depends on what they're doing outside of the ring and outside of the cameras. You know, we don't know if he's been inactive, if he's been sparring, if he's been training, if he's been watching his weight, if he's been doing strength and conditioning. I wouldn't really consider that inactive. You know, if he's training and sparring like a couple times a week, that's a couple fights. That's a couple mini fights if you think about it. The rounds are there. So I just don't think people really think about, you know, activity the same way as a fighter thinks of activity. So I'm sure he's been training, and you know how we do at Rick Ramos Boxing Gym, no days off. So you know, people might not see me in the ring. I haven't been active, you know, since earlier this year, but we've been definitely training and sparring and keeping everything on point.
In regards to your fight, another fight, great fight. You know, we got the main event. You're also fighting the card. My question to you is, what's more harder, getting to the top or maintaining to the top?
Both of them have different aspects of difficulty. Getting to the top, of course, you're scraping and hustling, and you got to make sure you keep your face out there. You got to make sure you keep your training up, and you move from like 4 rounds to 6 rounds to 8 rounds to 10 rounds. So there's different levels of it. But then when you're at the top, sometimes you don't get fights as fast because there's not opponents that are equally matched, or because there's just not a lot of money to go around, or because, you know, opponents just aren't ready. So there's difficulties on either side of that. So I can't really say which is worse.
Definitely. In regards to like just women's boxing in general, I remember 4 or 5 years ago, you know, women's boxing was like, you know, in cards, but it wasn't as important or in demand where it is now. I see Clarissa Shields, I see yourself, I see Sinisa Estrada. Like, how does it feel now, like boxing, all these networks are appreciating women's boxing?
It's funny because I have like that old timer mentality, like back in my day, you know, and you know, people ask me questions like, well, who did you idolize? And it's like, I didn't have anybody to look up to. You know, it was just, I had to push myself to be my best self. So I'm happy that there are a lot of great female boxers out there to be examples and role models, and I aspire to continue to be that myself. And I just feel like women that are coming up in the game, they have so much to look to and so much to reference, and they should definitely do that in order to become their best boxing self.
Do you ever see yourself like crossing over, like what,
to
MMA or any other sport?
I don't know. You never know. I mean, you know, there's different points in your career where certain things arise or become more important, or you know, it just kind of depends on the time and place, and anything could happen. You know, MMA or bare knuckle boxing, or you know, there's just a lot of things out there now. A lot of things are kind of popping off, so you never know.
I want to congratulate you too, because I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, right? When Matt Truman DAZN first had a show in Chicago, Wintrust Arena, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
October 2018.
And we mentioned how, you know, Chicago is very important to you and how you wanted to make a change in Chicago. Recently, I saw that you guys are now working with RGBA, Robert Garcia. Congratulations on that. I think that's very significant, not just for you guys, but for the city of Chicago and just the state alone. You know, what's the next step? You know, because that's a big, I think that's a big milestone.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, Rick, he's always stayed in contact with the West Coast, even before I came onto the scene, and and you've always had ties with Robert.
Yeah. I used to hang out in Robert Garcia's gym, you know, and you know, really not talk to anybody. But, you know, Danny Garcia, Robert Garcia, Roger Romo, Velos Garcia, David Garcia, like all those guys took me in. Big Hoss, they took me in, and I've always stayed friends with them. And eventually, you know, that was 10 years ago. But for 7 years straight, I would go there for a week. And then everything come back around in full circle.
Yeah.
You know, I talked to Robert on the phone, and Robert's like, hey, you know, let's do it. So,
Yeah.
I think they really see a lot of the hustle that we do and a lot of the new ideas that we have, and so they want to incorporate that into some of the things that they're doing. And Robert, he likes to expand, and so, you know, why not be in Chicago? So
Yeah.
we're going to get the Chicago gym off the ground and running and get the kids program going, and then just kind of see what happens next.
What's the timetable for that? Like
it looks like February 1st. February 1st, if everything goes smoothly. But right now, it looks like everything's going to go all right. So
Yeah.
it looks like February 1st in Chicago, back of the Arc neighborhood, for the people who know the area. Predominantly Hispanic area, but
Wow.
yeah, but it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be, you know, it's a low income area, but I think there's definitely think there's oil there, and I'm looking to strike oil.
What are some of the feedbacks? Maybe like kids mentioning to you, or
yeah, you know what? There's a ton of feedback in the boxing community in Chicago, and you know, in the suburbs. A lot of people want to come travel in. You know, I think it's going to be good. You know, I think it's going to be very neighborhoody, so that a lot of the local kids can get there. You know, I got to make sure that I price it accordingly.
Yeah.
And I got to make sure that I have classes long enough for those kids to come. But I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be great. Got a lot of positive feedback.
Definitely, we're hoping the best for you guys. Like I said, that is a big move,
Yeah.
a very important move for the city of Chicago, knowing, you know, how Chicago is and whatnot. But you guys are definitely know you guys are going to be the trendsetter. You guys are the leaders for this movement,
Yeah.
and I'm happy for you guys. For real, bro.
Thank you. Honestly, that's dope because you used to interview us, and we were like begging you for an interview back in the day. But no, but I appreciate you and your support throughout the way. And you know, like I said, we never turned down interviews. We never turned down pictures or nothing. And I think like it's all coming back around.
Yeah.
In a positive way. So.
Like I always say, you guys put in the work, and it should be rewarded.
Yeah,
you
I
know.
appreciate that.
And I'm pretty sure the champ feels good that she don't got to be looking for fighters. Now the fighters call her out.
Yeah.
You know.
Sometimes a little too much. They've been calling us out too much. But no, you're right. You know, we don't have to reach that much anymore, and you know, a lot of the stuff comes to us. But we're happy. So.
There you go. Like I said, blessings to you guys, and we're gonna check the weigh-ins in a bit. And thank you again, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.